Okay guys, in the previous video we have constructed an SQL query. When the condition is true, then we triggered an error. So database did not handle the error correctly and we got the server error in the response. That's how we identified whether this condition given is true or false. But what if the SQL database have handled the error correctly? So in that case, what we are going to do is we are going to trigger some time delays. So here this is delay. We are if this condition is false, so then wait for delay. So this one is delay, and if this condition is true, 1 is equals to 1 is true, and we are waiting for this much seconds, 10 seconds. So if this condition has been executed, then the response will take 10 seconds to reach us, or the database goes to sleep for 10 seconds and then process the response and send us. So okay, let's go and do this lab. So blind SQL injection with time delays. So we need to cause 10-second delay. First let me turn on the intercept, send to repeater. Okay, so this cookie might be injectable. Let me choose the SQL injection cheat sheet. So these are the different time delay functions for different types of databases. So first let's try with the MySQL. Sleep of 20, sleep of 20, let's say 10. We need to trigger with the 10. We got the response. Okay, this semicolon, you can see if you put the semicolon, this sleep is blue color because it is being treated as a name of some parameter. So percentage 3b, so this should give the semicolon. So I think it's not MySQL, so let's try for PostgreSQL pg underscore sleep of 10. So we got this response within seconds. Let's try for other, or we need to use the select. Okay, let's try that. Okay, we need to put the comments, so sorry for that. Okay, now you can see there is a sleep of 10 seconds. So the database goes to sleep for 10 seconds. After 10 seconds it will process the response and it will send us. So this is the PostgreSQL, and you can see we have successfully solved this lab. So okay, that is the basic our time based SQL injections. So let's go ahead and do the second lab. So we need to retrieve the information from the database. Okay, let's access the lab. Let's turn on the intercept. Okay, turn on the intercept and refresh this. So send this to repeater. Okay, now let's determine which database it's being used. Percentage 3b. So if any of this syntax became like blue color or some other color, that means our syntax is wrong. It should be only red color. Now select sleep of 4. Okay, 4 should be fine. 4 seconds. So let's say pg underscore sleep. So you can see the delay. So that means this is the PostgreSQL. So PostgreSQL, we need to use this case when 1 is equals to 1 from I think PostgreSQL. Okay, the PostgreSQL is also like MySQL. It has the information schema.tables. Okay, this should be fine. This is similar to MySQL. Select case when let me say limit 1 case, then pg sleep of 4 seconds, else nothing, end. So this should trigger the delay, I think so. So you can see there is a delay. So that means this is the information schema tables. We have triggered 1 is equals to 1. Okay, that should be do it. That should be. So in these tables we need to find the users table, right? From we can say users, right, directory. So if there is a users table, we should get the delay. So you can see the delay. That means we have the users table. Let me change it to users 2. So you can see there is no delay. That means there is no table with the users 2. So you can brute force this for more table names. You can send it to intruder, place the place order, and brute force. So we have the users table. We need to find the username and the password column, right? How do we do that? Let's concat of a comma username, and in this we need to find the substring of first one. So in the previous video, just like finding the columns. So first we are concatenating a with the username. So whatever username the table contains, and then we are selecting the first byte, that is a. Of course it should be a from users limit 1. Okay, this should trigger the delay if we have username column. So you can see the delay. There is a username column. Let me change it to username 2, and we got the immediate response. So that means there is no table and there is no column username 2. Okay, let's check for password. So you can brute force this this one to check the column names. So you can see the password column is there. So we have the 2 columns, username column and the password column. So let me delete this. First we need to find the usernames. Let me say where username is administrator, select when What we can do here is length of password greater than 1. So let's check this. So you can get the delay. So you can see first we are selecting the content where username is administrator, so it would return the password, and then we are checking the length of password is greater than 1 or not. Let me change the username to this one which does not exist, and you can see immediate response. So that means this length of password failed, that is there is no password column for this user, so that's why it returned errors. So this is, you can brute force the usernames. So now we came to know that there is a password field for the administrator user. Max of length of password is equals to, let's say 2, and send this. Okay, now we got the immediate response, so that means length of the password is not equals to 2. So let's send this to intruder. Clear all positions. Now we need to brute for this one. We need to find the length of password, whether it is 1 or 2 or 3 or etc. up to some, let's say 30 or 40. Let's add the placeholders. So let me copy this one, 1 to 30, and paste it in the payloads. So 1 to 30. So now everything should be fine. Let's start the attack. Now to know whether it is the delay, you need to select the columns response received, response completed. So this should give us the delay. You can see the response is in milliseconds, 163 milliseconds. Now if I double click on this, it will start according to the descending order. So the response taken by the time taken by the web server to process our request and send our response. So one, you can see the 20 payload contains the response 4162. So that is 4 seconds, greater than 4 seconds. Why? Because we have said here PG sleep of 4. If you put 5, then you can see 5000. If you put 6, you will see 6000. So that means the maximum length of password is 20. Okay, let me now, you can easily brute force now substring of password 1,1 equal to, let's say, A. So let's send this. So we got the immediate response stating that the first byte is not A. So what you can do is you can use the brute force. I am using the previous Python script which I have shown in the previous videos. So we need to change this URL. Copy the URL, now paste here, and then we need to change the cookie, or you can get a new cookie by using the request.get. So anything should be fine. So change the cookie here, and then range from 1 to 21. So we need to change this SQL query, and let me copy this, including the quote and the comment. So up to here, full query. Delete this. We paste here. So what positions you need to brute force? This one and this one. So this should be simple. And let's say dot format of I comma j. The first position is the password field position, and second one is the our letters. So here what we need to do is we need to say temp dot elapse dot total seconds. So this will give the number of seconds the response have been reached for us. We should say 3.9 3.9. So why 3.9? Because we have set here 4 seconds. So this total seconds will retrieve in a normal seconds, not a milliseconds. So if that is greater than 3.9, we need to say password. Then that means this j in this for loop has been in the correct position. So now we can simply run this. So we need to wait for some time to get the full password. So the first one is G. So let me verify that one. You can set G. So we need to we should see some delay in this response time. Let's send this, and you can see there is a delay. So the first position is G, that is successful.